Hi, I'm Clint Baker, the Training Center Manager for Sherwin-Williams in the Reno Automotive Training Center. What we're going to do today is learn more about the color wheel and different color families, and we're going to take a look at a color tool that we have that utilizes pictographs in helping us better understand the toners and how they affect the formula when we decide to tint color. What we've got here is a color wheel made up of our four basic primary colors: yellow, red, blue, and green. Each one of these colors has two partner colors. They lay beside it on the color wheel. Yellow's partner color would be red or green. Green's partner colors would be yellow or blue. Blue would have green or red. And red's partner colors are blue and yellow. There's four distinctly different color families represented by this. There's a yellow to red color family, a yellow to green color family, green to blue, and blue to red. All colors can only be off to one of their partner colors. Once again, green or red in the case of blue. Whenever we add two primary colors together, we end up with a secondary color. In the case of blue and red, we would say we would get violet by adding those two together. Whenever we add partner colors together, we should get a rich, saturated, clean color. Let's give that a try and see how it works. And I've got 382 bright red. When I add these two together, I should get a secondary color that's a bright, clean, saturated violet color. This color ended up being very desaturated, very dark, dirty, and muddy. In fact, it's not saturated at all. We would say that it falls in the middle of the color wheel as a very neutral, desaturated color. The reason why it never ended up as a nice, clean, saturated violet color is because I, in fact, didn't add two colors from the same family together. What I added was a red that truly wasn't in the blue to red family. This red, in fact, is a yellow shade red and would actually fall on that side of the color family. The 342 that I just used, in fact, falls on the green side of blue. What we've actually done is combined colors from across the color wheel, which ended up in that dirty, desaturated color result. In order to get a rich, clean, saturated violet, we'd have to choose a blue that would be slightly into the red family, which would be described as a red shade blue. We'd have to use a red that would actually be into this side of the wheel, which would be described as a blue shade red. So the toner that we just used was actually part number 342. Our pictograph tells us a story about that particular toner. It shows the arrow with the direction in which the color travels. This shows this blue to be a green shade blue, and there's a description here that says it is blue with a green face and a slightly red flop. We also know by looking in the middle of the pictograph that the purity is very clean. This little bitty circle with the red on top and the gray underneath depicts the side tone. It lets us know that this particular toner has a slightly red side tone that's a little bit desaturated and dirty. A toner that we would want to use in order to get it on the right side of the color family would be one that represents a red shade blue. Here's 343. This shows that it's red side tone or red face because the arrow's pointed that direction. Also, the Indo blue shows that the arrow's traveling that direction. If we look at the color description for the Indo blue, it says that it's our reddish shade blue on the face and the flop. So, that'll be a great choice to choose to try this again. The first toner that we used for red was actually 382. And there again, looking at the pictograph, it shows that this red has an arrow pointed toward the yellow side. It's actually a yellow shade red. It's got a very pure face and a very pure side tone, but it's both yellow on the side tone and on the face. The verbal description tells us that it's a clean opaque red that's used in solid reds, yellow and orange colors. Do not use in white or metallics. This is a very good note also. The toner that we'd want to use in order to keep a clean, rich violet will be one that goes to the blue side. This next toner below it actually shows a red that's got a blue traveling direction. It's also got a blue side tone. The description for this toner, 383, says that it's a blue shade red on the face and flop. It's used in solid reds, whites, and red metallics. So let's try this blue shade red and see what it gives us. So let's try this color exercise again using the 345 Indo Blue, which was our reddish shade blue, and combine it with our 383 blue shade red. This gave us a really nice, rich, saturated, clean violet color because we stayed within the color family. Let's see how that works out when we put it on the color wheel. This red, in fact, would actually fall into the correct color family because it's a blue shade red. And this particular blue would be on this side of the color wheel because it's a red shade blue. And as we saw the results a minute ago, these ended up being a nice, rich, saturated violet color. Okay? Now it's really difficult to see what color we're really looking at when we're dealing with pure toners. One way we can see these much better is to let them down using a white toner. So as I add white to this blue, and a little bit of white to this blue, we should make it much easier to see what color family we're actually dealing with. It's much easier to tell now that that actually is a green shade blue and this one's a red shade blue. And once again, the blue shade, the green shade blue is what gave us the desaturated color. Let's let down these two reds and see what they do. And once again, you should be able to see that that's a blue shade red and a yellow shade red. Okay? We can also let down this violet and see what it truly looks like as well. And you should be able to notice that that's a really nice, clean, rich, saturated violet color. Another tool that we've got available to help identify what the toner will do when you add it to a formula is the toner letdown chart. These spandex actually represent the toners we have available, already let down with white so you can see the end result of what it truly will represent as far as its hue. In this example with this blue, you can see that in its mass tone it's so dark that it's tough to identify what it's truly representing in color. As we let it down with 50% white, it gets lighter, you can see a better representation, and all the way out here in the end, it actually has 90% white added. You can use this to actually compare it to other toners to see the strength and hue of the color. Basically what we've already done here, except you didn't have to finger paint it. We also have this same deck available with effect pigments. This has metallic and pearl colors inside of it. And once again, we've got them let down with different ingredients so you can see what the results will be of those toners if you choose to add them to a formula. So the lesson learned here really is this. Whenever we add two toners together that are within the same color formula, we end up getting a clean, rich, saturated result. Whenever we introduce a toner from outside the color family, it desaturates the color, making it very dirty, muddy, and desaturated. Okay? Whenever you're grabbing a toner to adjust a formula, you really need to consider which toner you're grabbing. If you go outside the color formula and you introduce a toner outside the color family, you will desaturate the color. So, to recap what we've learned today, it's very important to understand color families and the effect that choosing the right toner will have in ensuring that we have a clean, saturated, rich color. And we also have the color tools available to help us choose the correct toner when we need to adjust a formula.